Since you can't be live to greet new...
Hora, cara. Toda hora cai. Let's go. O cara tá rindo ali, velho. The Normandy.
I've got big news for you, Shepard. Captain Anderson is stepping down as commanding officer of the Normandy. The ship is yours now.
She's quick and quiet, and you know the crew. Perfect ship for a Spectre. Treat her well, Commander.
Forced retirement. What's going on?
I'll take good care of her, sir.
I know you will, Commander.
Why are you doing this?
I want the truth. Why are you stepping down, sir?
You needed your own ship. A Spectre can't answer to anyone but the Council. And it's time for me to step down.
Any order on Siren?
Come clean with me, Captain. You owe me that much.
I was in your shoes 20 years ago, Shepard. They were considering me for the Spectres.
Agora vem a verdade lá, ó.
What happened?
I failed. I couldn't make the cut. It's not something I'm proud of. Ask me later and I'll tell you the whole story. For now, all you need to know is, I was sent on a mission with Saren, and he made sure the Council rejected me. I had my shot. It came and went. Now you have a chance to make up for my mistakes.
Caramba. You can count on me.
I won't let you down, sir.
Saren's gone. Don't even try to find him. But we know what he's after. The conduit.
Conduit.
He's got us Geth scouring the Traverse looking for clues.
We had reports of Geth in the Pharaoh system shortly before our colony there dropped out of contact, and there have been sightings around Noveria.
Find out what Saren was after on Pharos and Noveria. Maybe you can figure out where the conduit is before he does.
What about the Reapers? Is that it?
The Reapers are the real threat.
I'm with the Council on this one, Shepard. I'm not sure they even exist.
But if they do exist, the conduit's the key to bringing them back. Stop Saren from getting the conduit, and we stop the Reapers from returning.
Count on me.
I'll stop him.
We have one more lead. Matriarch Benezia, the other voice in that recording. She has a daughter, a scientist who specializes in the Protheans. We don't know if she's involved, but it might be a good idea to try and find her. See what she knows. Her name's Liara, Dr. Liara Tassoni. We have reports she was exploring an archaeological dig on one of the uncharted worlds in the Artemis Tau cluster.
Oh, Artemis Tau cluster. I will start with Pharaohs. Onde é que a gente vai? Onde é que a gente vai? Não sei. Onde a gente vai? Superfície de Terron? Pharos e Noveria. Terron. Terron. Pharos e Noveria. I'll start here.
Sounds like we should head for the Artemis Tau cluster.
It's your decision, Commander. You're a Spectre now. You don't answer to us.
Your actions still reflect on humanity as a whole. You make a mess and I get stuck cleaning it up.
It might be necessary. That's your job.
I'll try not to make things any harder on you, Ambassador.
Glad to hear it, Commander. Remember, you were a human long before you were a Spectre. I have a meeting to get to. Captain Anderson can answer any questions you might have.
Captain Anderson. You are a Spectre now. Don't answer anyone. Né? A gente não responde a mais ninguém.
Yes, Commander?
I want to know the truth about you and Saren. I want to know about the mission you were on together all those years ago.
We had intel on a rogue scientist being funded by Batarian interests. He was trying to set up a facility to develop illegal AI technology out in the Verge. Alliance intel had done all the work, but the Council wanted a Spectre involved. We compromised. I was assigned to help Saren in his investigation. We tracked the scientist to a refining facility on Kamala. He was hidden away somewhere inside, protected by an army of Batarian mercenaries. The plan was simple. Sneak into the plant, capture the scientist, sneak back out. Quick, quiet, and a minimum of bloodshed.
I'm guessing things didn't go as planned.
Saren and I split up to cover more ground. Then about halfway through the mission, there was a massive explosion in the refinery core. Officially, it was ruled an accident, but I think Saren detonated it on purpose to draw off the enemy guards.
How many casualties?
The explosion tore the refinery to shreds. The whole place was on fire.
Caramba.
Black chemical clouds poured out into the atmosphere. Nobody inside survived. There was a
Caramba.
camp for the workers and their families nearby. Between the fires and the toxic fumes, the final death count was over 500. Mostly civilians.
500.
Saren, yeah.
Caramba.
The target was eliminated. Mission accomplished. And I ended up taking the blame. That ended all talk of me joining the Spectres.
Caramba.
Saren caused the explosion. How'd he pin it on you?
In his report, Saren accused me of blowing his cover. He said it was my fault the guards were ready for us. He claimed that's why it turned into a massacre. Saren's report was all the proof the Council needed to kill my chances of becoming a Spectre.
All the proof the Council need to kill my chance to become a Spectre. It was your fault.
Don't blame yourself, Captain.
I don't. I blame Saren. I think he wanted
Caramba, olha.
He was looking for an excuse to blow that refinery. Maybe he just likes the violence. Maybe he was just trying to make me look bad to keep humans out of the Spectres. If so, he pulled it off.
It looked like that. Maybe he's just trying to make me look bad and keep humans out of respect. If so, he pulled it off. Ele conseguiu, né?
Why'd you let him get away with it?
Who do you think the Council was going to listen to? Me? Or their
The
best
best
agent?
agent.
I had a bad feeling about him right from the start. I should have been more careful. Maybe I could have stopped things before they got out of hand.
Ok.
Don't blame yourself, Captain.
I don't. Maybe he just likes the violence. Maybe he was just trying to make me look bad to keep humans out of the
The
Spectre.
only thing I care about is stopping Saren.
You're right, Commander. It's no good living in the past.
How are you holding up?
Honestly, this isn't how I pictured my career coming to an end. Pushing papers really isn't my thing, but you're the one who can stop Saren. I believe in you, Shepard. If that means I have to step aside, so be it.
What do you know about Armiston Baines?
Where did you hear that name? Never mind, I don't want to know. Baines is dead. Has been for quite some time.
The people I spoke with seem to think he was still alive.
It's not common knowledge. Military is keeping it under wraps. Baines was doing some high-level work for the Alliance. Stuff even I wasn't aware of. One day he turns up dead on a drifting scout ship. Everyone suspects it was foul play, but it was never officially investigated.
What can you tell me about the ship?
I don't know much about it. You should talk to Admiral Kahoku. One of his crews discovered Baines' body.
If I have time.
I spoke to Kahoku. He never brought it up.
You should mention Baines the next time you see him. See if he'll tell you anything. Is there anything else, Commander?
Any extra intel you can give me on our colony at Pharos?
The entire planet used to be one giant Prothean city. Mostly ruins now.
Mostly
But
ruins
some
now.
of the infrastructure is still intact. The colony tried to build on what the Protheans left behind. We lost all contact with them when the Geth attacked.
What can you tell me about Novaria?
Novaria's trouble. Always has been. The whole planet's basically a center for corporations to conduct illegal research. Watch your back there, Shepard. Spectres are about the only form of Citadel authority Noveria respects. But they aren't popular.
Ok. Oh, very respect, but they aren't popular. Nossa senhora, os caras não. Heroes já foi.
What do you know about the Artemis Tau cluster?
Not much. I've never been there myself. A handful of systems with a few small, uncharted worlds, but no real colonies. Might not be easy finding Dr. Tassoni out there. My advice is to look for the world with the Prothean ruins.
Protein ruins.
Where can I find Admiral Kahoku?
Last I heard, he was up in the tower trying to get the Council to investigate Bane's death. Is there anything else, Commander?
I should go.
I'll be here if you need anything.
Ok.
Celebrations are being planned for the anniversary of the end of...
Oh, very fine. Helena Blake. É, mas não apareceu mais nada não, viu?
The Rachni Wars. Many Council worlds, particularly Asari and Solarian colonies, will hold victory parades to commemorate the defeat of the invading Rachni. In a rare admission of debt, several Asari colonies have invited Krogans to be honored for the victories the uplifted Krogans made possible.
The tower. Ah, é o de Monocorraco aqui, ó. Ele aqui, ó.
I'm waiting to speak with one of the Councilor's assistants. Commander, any luck finding my recon group?
Banes, né?
Captain Anderson said you had information on Banes.
Not as much as I'd like to. One of my crews found him, frozen stiff on board a derelict vessel. The missing recon group, the one I sent you to find, they were scouting the system we found Baines' ship in.
Why didn't you tell me?
You should have mentioned this earlier, Admiral.
Baines is already dead. It's too late for him. I'm only concerned about my team. Someone has to find them. Please, Shepard, I'm counting on you.
Ok.
No, I just want to ask a couple of questions.
Não é aqui, não. Eu preciso pro Ward C-Sec.
In a further development in the Eden Prime investigation, the Council has reportedly revoked the Spectre status of one of its operatives. While the unnamed operative has not yet been apprehended, a Council spokesman confirmed that corrective actions had been taken.
Oh. Captain Anderson. Fale mais não, né? Ah, não.
When I first first arrived on the Citadel, I spent nearly 3 hours being questioned by the officers here before they would let me enter the wards.
Caramba, coitada, que preconceito, hein? Caramba. Isso, fica aí, ó, seus dois idiotas.
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in progress.
I heard what happened to Captain Anderson. Survives 100 battles and then gets taken down by backroom politics. Just watch your back, Commander. Things go bad on this mission, you're next on their chopping block.
I'm ready.
Captain Anderson should be the one in charge. It's like I'm stealing the ship from him.
Yeah, the captain got screwed. But it's not like you could have stopped it. Nobody's blaming you. Everyone on this ship's behind you, Commander. 100%. Intercom's open. If you got anything you want to say to the crew, now's the time.
Now we do things my way. I think so. Ask a keeper.
This is Commander Shepard speaking. We have our orders. Find Saren before he finds the conduit. I won't lie to you, crew. This mission isn't going to be easy.
Humanimals do respond. Any prime is just a start. Nobody's going to help us. Sarah, you'll be ready for us.
For too long, our species has stood apart from the others. Now it's time for us to step up and do our part for the rest of the galaxy. Time to show them what humans are made of.
Saren can't hide from us. Can't hide from us. Hidden Prime is just a start. We must not fail.
Our enemy knows we're coming. When we go into the Traverse, Saren's followers will be waiting for us. But we'll be ready for them, too. Humanity needs to do this. Not just for our own sake, but for the sake of every other species in Citadel space. Saren must be stopped. And I promise you all, we will stop it.
Foda, cara. Foda demais,
Well said, Commander. Captain will be proud.
I won't let him down. Not if he fails. It doesn't matter anymore.
The captain gave up everything so I could have this chance. We can't fail.
Yes, sir.
Eita. Joker.
Commander, something you need?
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet. If you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect.
Nossa, o olhar dele,
Get
velho.
used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
Menos.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
I didn't want to insult you.
I'm sorry, Joker. I didn't even know you were sick.
You mean you didn't know?
Oh, crap.
Okay, I've got Vrolik syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic, but I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you know, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
How do you get your nickname? Tell me about your disease.
I need to know more about this Vrolik syndrome if I'm putting my ship in your hands.
Vrolik.
Yeah, of course you do. It's an extremely rare condition. Nobody knows exactly what causes it. Genetic, maybe. It's treatable, but there's no cure. I classify my case as moderate to severe. I was born with over a dozen fractures, hip, thighs, ankles. My bones were already breaking in the womb. 100 years ago, I wouldn't have survived past my first year. Lucky for me, modern medical science has turned me into a productive member of society.
How do you do your job?
You're not gonna break a bone trying to fly the ship, are you?
I don't fly with my feet, Commander, so I'm fine as long as I'm in this chair. I gotta be real careful when I get up to take a piss, though. I can do my job as well as anyone on the ship. Better, actually. So don't worry about it.
Okay, let's change.
I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. Let's talk about something else.
Whatever you want, Commander.
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
You're dodging the question.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
Were you happy?
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the academy. Even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it.
Caramba.
They got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
I guess it was one of the graduation. Caramba.
How'd you end up joining the Alliance?
Look, if you're looking for an inspirational tale of the crippled kid overcoming impossible odds, you're gonna be disappointed. My mother was a civilian contractor working for the Alliance. I basically grew up on the Arcturus station back when they were building up the fleets. Spend all that time around Alliance ships, there's a good chance you'll end up going to the Academy.
Yeah. It went out. Yeah, very. There's good chance it went up of the county. Okay.
I have to go.
Alright, see ya.
Alright, see ya. Ok. Não quero sair, né? A gente tá na doca ainda, né? Navigator.
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure about having non-humans on our ship, though.
Aliens on the ship.
We're all on the same team here, Presley.
With all due respect, sir, that's what they said about Nihilus. Look how that turned out.
I'm in charge here, Presley. I decide if we have non-humans on this vessel.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Caramba.
Speak freely, Presley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop it. We don't need their help.
Everton, no way to help. It's not just our problem.
Some people think asking for help is a sign of weakness. That's just being stupid and stubborn. No matter how strong you are, allies can make you stronger.
I guess so. Maybe I'm just stuck in the old ways of thinking. But don't worry, Commander. This won't be a problem.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up with the Alliance as a navigator right out of school, following in my grandfather's footsteps. My first posting was on the Agincourt. We were at Elysium during the Skillian Blitz. A massive fleet of alien raiders hit the colony, trying to wipe it out. They had the numbers, but their ships were no match for an Alliance frigate. It was a slaughter. We couldn't even keep track of how many ships they lost.
How'd you end up on the Normandy?
Como é que você parou, chegou aqui?
Commission after Elysium. Must have made an impression on the right people. Captain asked for me when he was picking his crew.
Impression on the right people.
Speak freely, Presley.
I trust you, Commander. If you think they belong here, then so do I.
Speak freely, Presley. I want to know if you have
I trust you, Commander. If you think they
Ele
belong here,
cortou
then so do I.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up. We were at a... They had the numbers, but their ships were no match for an Alliance frigate. It was a slaughter. We couldn't even keep track of how
Carry
many
on,
ships.
Presley.
Yes, sir.
Paragon Renegade. É que ele tomou uma lá, né? Olha o Wesley Snipes aí, ó. Como é que o Codex tá? Kickback and Krogan. Pô, cara, tudo em português seria bom, hein? Fazer conventions. Is the greatest threat to galactic peace. Pera aí. Obstruction do... large kinetic impact, such asteroid drops. Station victory free. Energy burst rifle, such as nuclear antimateria warheads. Aliens physically liberated the scroll. Okay. Security service. Presidium wing. Serpent Nebula. Rotation. 3.5 minutos por revolução. Que é isso? Por volta, cara. Ponto 02 da Terra. Rotational in Presidium. Ué. Presídio se sente mais leve? Comprimento aberto. Diâmetro 44 km, 12 km. Profundidade 330, Presidio Ring diâmetro 7.2. Thickness 13 metros. Nossa senhora. Population not included keepers. Gross weight billion metric tons. Bilhões de toneladas. 8 of the Presidium Tower. 1 km 47. Este sim 31. Nice. Militar jargão. High shore. Away. High. Yes, sir. ASAP. As soon as possible. Belay. bridge, a navigation center of spacecraft, where the steering is done. Captain's mess, combat formation center, DC damage control, electronic countermeasures. IVA, essa vehicular activity. Ah, já vi já. Isso aí já vi. Flank. Side of military formation. Elsewhere, the enemy can attack on the flank, can often turn it or hold it up. The enemy that can attack on the flank can often turn it or hold it up. Freaking new guy. Ground side. LADA, light detection and ranging. Active sensor. Short part. Silent running. XO, executive officer, the second. The XO is responsible for administrative responsible matters. Okay, military ranks. Serviceman private. Serviceman private. NCO, Service Chief, Gunner Operations Chief, Officer, Segundo Lieutenant, Primeiro Lieutenant, Staff Lieutenant, Lieutenant Commander, Staff Commander, Captain Major, here Admiral General, Admiral Fleet Admiral. Caramba, olha aí. M7. Alternate scenarios is numbers run from 1 to 7. N is the letter code for Special Forces personnel. Timeline. Current date 2133. The Milky Way galaxy contains 200-400 bilhões de stars, most with a host of planets. 200 é o dobro. O erro é o dobro, pô. Os caras não tem o dobro da certeza. Praticamente o dobro. Host of planets. Isso é de estrela, mais planeta. Ué, tirei o botão, não dá pra ver, né? Não. Beyond Soul. Faster than light drive. Olha aí. Fighters. A foto é a mesma? Olha. Tecnologia. Biotics Communications. Upgrades.
Combat hard suits use a dual layer system. Kinetic barriers, more commonly called shields, provide protection against most. Medigel is a common medicinal salve used by paramedics, EMTs, and military personnel. All modern infantry weapons from
Caramba, olha aí, ó.
Pharos is a habitable world in the Attican Beta cluster. 2/3 of the habitable surface is covered with the ruins of a crumbling Prothean megatropolis. Noveria is a cool. The terminus systems are located.
Ok. Shepard. Telepod. Okay then.
Anything you need, Commander?
Tactical appraisal for personal input.
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I don't see how we could have done things any better. At least not without getting to Eden Prime sooner. And we were on the scene faster than any other Alliance ship could have been.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
Lieutenant. Commander. A médica aqui, ó.
Yes, Commander? Is there something you need?
How well do you know the Lieutenant?
I'd never worked with him before this mission. But he has an impressive service record. Over a dozen special commendations. Tends to keep to himself, though. Maybe because of the headaches. It's not easy being an L2.
L2?
What does that have to do with it?
Well, most biotics now use the L3 implants. Lieutenant Alenko was wired with the old L2 configuration. Sometimes there are complications.
What kind of complications?
Severe mental disabilities, insanity, crippling physical pain. There's a long list of horrific side effects. Caden's lucky. He just gets migraines.
How did you end up serving on it?
I enlisted, right? But humanity needs the Alliance if we want to keep expanding through the Traverse.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
Vamos lá. Esse cara aqui não quer falar nada não, né? Quer não. Nossa. A foda. Anthony Adams. Tá ali. Tá ali, tá lá.
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian, Tally? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
I'll talk to her.
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You got an eye for Tally, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
Stealth system.
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on. Probably the fastest vessel ever designed. And she's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
Drive
What's so
core?
special about the Tantalus drive core?
Exatamente.
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo, only a cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
Last time I was on the Tokyo. Can hold a candle to the Normandy, bora.
Fill me in on the IES stealth systems. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation. Too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
So we are invisible?
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
Why doesn't it work with faster than light travel?
Cranking up the FTL, blue shifts our emissions, pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
Ok.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Tem que pegar uma água lá que tá foda, galera. Tá foda mesmo. Deu um som danado aqui. Ok. Vamos lá.
Your ship's amazing,
Shepard.
I've never seen a drive core like this before.
Ai, gostou
I
lá.
can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
Normally they are not. The ship special. Get information on us.
The Normandy's a prototype. Cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space.
Nossa.
I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
You are into ships?
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
From the fleet's large vessels?
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla, grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
Hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
You're democratic.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials.
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
Eita.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
True AI? Isn't AI research illegal?
How come the council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an unstable with the neural network.
So the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
Like a hive mind?
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
I don't get it.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. The Geth are incredibly advanced and complex creations. All you need to know is that they get smarter when they gather in large numbers. As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose?
Caramba!
Imagine, this caused a near panic among my
people.
I don't see what's so bad about those questions.
The Geth were created to engage in mundane, repetitive, or dangerous manual labor. That's fine for machines, but it won't satisfy a sentient being for long. The Geth were showing signs of rudimentary self-awareness and independent thought. If the Geth were intelligent, then we were essentially using them as slaves. It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to respond to this order, defend themselves. It was your fault.
You didn't really think they'd just let you destroy them without a fight, did you?
The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exile searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
Now we drift, searching for a way to reclaim. They defend themselves, serves you right.
It's hard to feel sorry for you. Your ancestors tried to wipe out another species.
We made a mistake when we created the Geth in the first place, but we did not make a mistake when we went to war against them. If we had not acted, they would have wiped us out. They're a synthetic life form. They have no use for organics. None. Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? Why do you think they've killed every organic being who's ever tried to contact them?
Not everyone.
They didn't kill Saren.
What does that tell you? The Geth are not innocent victims in all this. They're the enemy. They want to destroy us. Not just the Quarians. All organic life. That's why they've joined up with Saren. And that's why we have to stop him.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
They always accept.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
Okay. Ends up triumphant on the ritual presentation of the gift. They always accept. Sounds dangerous.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
I should go.
See you later.
Essa fala, hein? Ó, tá foda, galera. Nossa. Ashley.
Looking for supplies?
Nossa, bateu o sono, galera, tá foda.
How often will you get new items?
Well, that depends on how many licenses you've purchased. But I'll rotate items on a regular basis regardless. And anytime we land someplace with a big enough port, I'll buy, sell, and trade whatever I can. Check back often. I need to move items quickly, so only the most basic items will be stocked consistently.
What are licenses? Why do you need them?
Manufacturers sell licenses. Each license allows me to buy and sell a certain brand of products. I already have several basic ones, but you'll need to buy more if you want me to bring in different brands. Many of the best licenses are hard to get, but they're well worth the cost if you can find them.
Ok. Manufacturers.
What do the different manufacturers offer?
There are too many for me to keep track of, but each license will explain what it's good for.
Let's see what you've got.
You bet, Commander.
Banshee. Rifle. Shotgun. Gladiator.
Looking for supplies?
Let's see what you've got.
You bet, Commander.
Pistol. Beleza. Spectre Master Gear. Vou conversar com esse aqui. Mas eu vou sair. Porque eu tô morrendo de sono, velho. Não deu sono pra caralho. Foi mal, galera. Foi mal. Ai, ai.